Begin. How good is the Ice Bear deck going to be against Fiends or Maliss in general? They do have a lot of Floodgate-like effects. Sadly for the Terrorizes haters, Terrorizes has made it to the top cards page. Let's see. Terra, well, it's not on win rate. It's not on usage. It is on usage rate, 31% usage. Interesting, where you have Maliss overall at 42%. Now, the main point is win rate when summoned. 78% win rate, mate. What other cards are here? We have Binder. So when you summon a Binder, you're at 75. If you want to get that extra 3% win rate, as people say, Terrorizes is win more. Yeah, you actually are winning more as it goes. This got bugged a little bit. There we go. You're winning 3% more of your duels. There you go, for the cost of about three parts of your extra deck. Yep, that's fine. Let's go. Now he dropped the Lancia. Lancia for the turn. It's okay to use Lancia in your turn, right? They still banish. Well, you actually can't use it on your own freaking turn. Only during your opponent's turn can you activate this effect to turn off the ability to banish. They have a spell and trap card negate. They can negate a summon. They can negate an interaction with the deck. They can max CS. They could non-target banish with MTP, non-target banish with the Cryptor. They could also negate a card or push a card back with a Terrorizes. About 6 forms of disruption. We are playing Fiendsmith. Ash. Negate. Wait, what is this? A new version of the card. What the heck? Medallion of the Ice Barrier. I don't remember you looking like that. Add an Ice Barrier from your deck to your hand. Okay. About 5 forms of disrupts left. We're going to Fiendsmith tract it up. Disave Worm is going to negate the tract. Now, Revealer, I think, is not a trigger effect. It's open game state. You have to wait to see if your opponent has a response first, then you can activate. Packbit is here. This card is nuts against Maliss. You Packbit onto a normal summon Dormouse, push it into the back row. They can't banish with a March Hare nor a Bisteel. It's just stuck in the back row. Damn. We gotta hop into game 2. What the heck? Millennium. Millennium Fiendsmith Ice Barrier. We are playing a 40-card deck. We got the room. We're getting Max C, but we do have an Ash Blossom too. Negate. Now, how many plays do the opponent have here? They have a Dormouse play plus a March Hare extension and some Hand Trap Resilience to the Call by the Grave. What are our forms of disruption? Well, you cannot banish for the rest of the turn. But you do have the Call by the Grave, which is actually going to be putting in some work. So I'm happy to see this, that you deleted your Crossout Designate. Negate. Delancia. What are you doing? I caught you. Lancia negated. We're going to activate the Dormouse. Apollo negate. Now, the main effect of Lancia is what we have to worry about, right? When your opponent special summons a monster, you could then summon an Ice Barrier from your hand, deck, extra deck, or graveyard, and the card you're going to be summoning most likely is going to be, holy crap, there are a lot of Ice Barriers. Oh, holy crappage. When your opponent would activate a monster effect on the resolution, they must discard a card or the effect is negated. Gold Sark, which will be triggering the Lancia. This is it. Banish the white rabbit, but we do have the Apollo to negate. No summon for you, mate. It looks like off of a Link summon is when we're going to be triggering the Lancia. Set the GWC, flip it up, banish the March Hare, reborn back the white rabbit, and just like that, we now have the Lancia. What you do have to understand is that for this instance, the Apollo is being chain link blocked by the Lancia. You have to choose. Do I want a Lancia or do I want to Apollo? Lancia, summon exactly what I foretold. If they activate a monster effect, they must discard a card. So they're gonna have to discard the March Hare. And it's not a once per turn. It's as many times as you want to be activating a monster effect, you have to discard. Apollo, negate. Little Knight Mate is going to chain banish the Rayo. Ray's going to force him to discard if you want to banish. He did not want to discard. He does get negated. The battle phase would go, great. We took out the Apollo after it used up all of its negates, end the turn. And just like that, Ice Barrier winning. And it did not need Lancia. I'm very happy about that. Little Knight, Chain, banish the Lancia. Now Lancia is going to say, okay, I'm not going to trigger my effect. Or you would get negated because you don't want to discard. If you were to actually banish my Lancia, it would have triggered to summon a Trushilla from the extra deck. 1-1, let's go. But now Maliss goes first. If we don't draw Lancia, are we screwed? Door, Mouse, banish from the deck here. Trigger the March here, add back to our hand. Sure. Now we're going to full loss before the Dormouse links off into a Link Decoder. What? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We do have Maxi, which they have an Ash for. What the heck, John Pork? This is the end. Wedged Temple. Mind you, we could have at least March Hare summon, banish a Chessie. Chessie comes back. Oh, but then he draws 2. Actually, he draws none. We draw 2. We could Chessie, banish the White Rabbit after draw 2. White Rabbit comes back. You could set MTP. You could then make a Red Ransom. They would then only draw 1. And what happened here? You now have an MTP. You have a Mirror. You have a Maxi. You drew 2 cards for 1 card. I think that's a pretty good trade-off, which we chose to not do. Maxi, in response to this engine. Ash, negate. Not today, mate. Do not pass to just Fool Loss. You have to remember your grave, your banishment, your hand. It's still safe to make plays. You got to make the plays. And also, even what if I have to use my extra deck? Can you at least trade 1 draw for 1 disruption? In many cases, it's worth it. Maliss again. Round 2. Hipster has already defeated Maliss. Can he do it again? Let's go. If we already have what we want, you can choose to not chain link block this to trick your opponent into trying to negate it. See, the other field spell is no good, right? We don't need it. So why chain link block when you could enable them to go into a mistake? And if not a mistake, you could see their field light up on them having an Ash Blossom. So it either reveals or tricks them to go into a mistake. What are our forms of disrupt? We can bounce back a monster or multiple monsters. We can non-target banish any card in the field. We can non-target banish any card in the field again. We can negate a special summon. We can negate a monster on the field. We could use Ash negate in interaction with the deck. We could possibly use White Binder to banish a card from the grave against Ice Barrier. That might be good. So possibly up to 7 disruptions. Let's see what's good. Fiendsmith tracked. Ash. Negate. If we come with the grave, we would not be able to use the firewall to chain return the Ash back to our hand because we have nothing that we're co-linked with at the moment. Wedged Temple, we're going to non-target banish the Wedged Temple out of here on the activation of the effect, not the activation of the card. That is correct. Not that we should be banishing, but that's how you should banish if you want to. Revealer does not activate on summon. It activates in an open game state. So let's take advantage of that, non-target banish it, wipe it away. With 3 to 4 more disruptions left, we are scooping it up. Where's my Lancia? Senjin into the back row. Come forth and summon, searching for our Golem. TB11 is going to, with at least 4 cards in the field, summon from the extra deck, possibly if we wanted to. Now, the monster we summoned would not be activatable. We're now going to add the March Hare back. He wanted to do all that before the Apollo USA happens. Sure. Lacrima, return back Crimson Tear, burn for 1200 here, reborn the Engraver, returning back the Lacrima Fiendsmith. We're going to equip the sequence onto the Engraver to then use Engraver to send the Dormouse to the graveyard. Now, the Dormouse and graveyard could just be banished by the March Hare we added back to our hand. We're going to Hex a Spirit, send from the deck. Revealer is here. We already discarded some from the deck as we now summon our Georges. Georges is going to be reborning a monster as we now make the Lancia. Lancia Ice Mountain is here as we also make a Dragite. What are our forms of disruption? We could triple monster negate with the Apollo. We could negate a spell and trap card with the Dragite. Lancia is more difficult to quantify it as a form of disruption. It essentially summons floodgates. So we'll at least have the Rayo. So we'll say 5 disruption. Setting a back row MTP. Activate the March here. Apollo. Negate. All right. We wanted to banish the Dormouse. Now we can't. We're going to Gold Sark, attempt to possibly banish a Dormouse from the deck. We're going to banish a Chessie Cat instead. Chessie, activate to summon itself back in the field. Apollo, negate. We have 1 more Apollo negate. March here, normal summon to battle we go. Wipe away the Apollo as we're now down to double disruption. We do have the Dragite ready to negate the MTP possibly as we now make a Lizardos. Lizardos can banish the Dormouse. We're going to chain Maxi to the Lancia, which we're going to call by the grave. What do we finger? You want to finger the Maxi over the Dormouse? We are fingering the Maxi. Okay. Negate and banish the C. Now, the Dormouse is going to, by cost, banish from engrave. Do not discard for the Rayo. Just allow it. Allow it to negate. I don't care, mate. As we now White Rabbit summon itself back onto the field. Now, the Rayo, is it not negating outside of the field? It's only when it's activated on the field does it have the ability to negate. As we now go into a Red Ransom. Red Ransom on summon. Rayo is going to force them to discard a card, searching for a mirror. We're going to activate the mirror to attempt to negate the Rayo here. We're going to chain MTP to banish away the Red Ransom to then search our deck. We already used up our normal summon. We already used up the March Hare, so unfortunately the search is no good here. Mirror negated. Now, the Red Ransom will be activating from the banishment to summon and banish from the deck. The Rayo cannot stop this effect. And we banished another Chessie. Did we not activate Dormouse yet? Dormouse, I mean, we Dormouse banished, Dormouse comes out in the field, then we have those 2 buys in the field. I think we forgot that Chessie was already triggered. Yeah, we still had Dormouse. Okay. But we have Hipster for his second chance to defeat Maliss. We're going to activate Lancia in the draw phase. Well, Maliss has no play anyway. All right, so we don't even finger it. You got me. Wow, I guess I have to pass with no play. Oh, another Lancia for the next turn. Sure, well, I also have no play. That's kind of cringe. I thought Almirage with Mirror Mage was a play. We don't have room for that. Lancia in the draw standby. Well, you stopped me again, my friend. I can't do anything against Lancia. Well, my deck is also not doing anything. What the hell is this? We're going to Jurasor banish the Lancia, chain Maxi, chain Ash to negate the Maxi. Don't tell me you're fingering that Ash. Oh my Jesus, yes we are. Finger the Ash, negate, and banish. We're going to poke him down for 2,500, hopefully drawing into a play. Now we have 2 cards we're drawing into to hopefully do something by the next turn. Off top of the... There we go. We got something. Engraver. But if they finger our Engraver, we are back to square one with no play. Well, Senjin's now play. Engraver activates as the finger negates, and Ash can negate the Senjin. Oh my Jesus, this is never ending. Now, the Senjin's going to block our Fool Loss from even being activatable during the next turn. Activate the Senjin. Once it's on the field, activate to summon. We are not ashing. I'm going to Maxi instead. Thank you very much. Now, this can be okay because we have no play and we want to draw into another play. We also have the protection of Nibiru, and we also have Ash to help back up the Maxi if the field gets too crazy. But you do have to know that the Druid Swarm is not really a form of protection here due to this inevitably going into a Doom Dragon to push back the Druid Swarm, and it's going to be at least 7,750 damage. If you then normal summon a Fool Loss, it'd be 7,850, but anything big enough to give us that extra 250 damage for lethal is why we maybe should have used Ash. Another reason to use Ash is knowing that On the previous turn, they had no play. So if they had no play into magically they have Engraver plus Sen'jin, you know the rest of their hand is dead. It's public knowledge because on the previous turns they did nothing. They drew one off the maxi, one for the turn. So this would have just ended their turn, and not just in hindsight. Search the Golem. Check the lingering effect. Oh, shoot. We fingered ourselves? No way. Ain't no way. Who cares about fingering yourself? Just Ash anyway. Jude Temple. Into the back row with a full loss plus a Sen'jin for the back row. And this is the 7750 damage on an open field play I'm talking about. Push it. Wait, was that game? Mirror Mage? What? You know, the Bestial Ball Drake would have stopped lethal damage, so we gotta go in. All right. Let's now, Freezing Chains. When is the Nibiru being whipped out? Nibiru right here, right now, tripping off the entire field. We have a token. Lancia is triggering. Impulse negate the Lancia. Now the Impulse will be applying the lingering effect of Light, Earth, and Wind are no longer activatable. Another Nibiru would be no good. Valor would be no good. We have the Apollo being no good, the Firewall Dragon, no good. Let's TB11 with the White Rabbit. One of the main benefits of playing TB11 is your White Rabbit is now a better play because it gives you access to the Dormouse very early on, as we now make a Link Decoder. Let's further turn this field into the Heart's Cryptor. No! Hipster, your second chance to defeat Maliss has been thwarted by a bricked hand, right? I mean, you both kind of bricked. 2-1. Let's go.